Welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with our producer, Alden Iwani. Our very special guest today, West Las Vegas Girls head coach Victor Ulibarri. His Dons are ranked number one in Class 3A with a record of 10-4. They'll take on the Moriarty Pintos tonight. And, Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You know, Coach, the Dons, the rankings came out. Manny Lucero and Richard Tripp do such a good job on the NMOT site.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we give them enough credit, man. Those rankings are there, and sometimes I think people forget who's in charge of that. They're just there, and I look for them every week, so they do a great job with that. West Las Vegas, number one. Las Vegas Robertson with Jose Magic Medina, number two, who's a legend. Love that guy. And you'll play them later on down the line. We don't have to talk too much about that. That you mentioned to me that those schools are in walking distance of each other, and we don't need to ramp that rivalry up at all. It's always there.
I don't know, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, well, first things first. You got to take care of things on your schedule. Navajo Prep is number 3. Santa Fe Indian School is number 4, and Tehachapi is number 5. You've had some. We'll get to your team in the second part of the show, but I wanted to go over your resume, and again, we're glad to have you on. We want to cover schools at every class, and we try to do that here on the Sports Desk. You mentioned you're young. How old are you, Coach?
29.
Young guy. You started coaching in 2014 at West Las Vegas. You coached basketball with the boys, track, cross country, volleyball. In 2016, you coached the C team boys basketball at West Las Vegas. 20 to 22, head coach for cross country at West Las Vegas from 2019 to 2023. You also assisted boys basketball coach at Robertson. Was that with James Branch?
So it was with Manny Romero and James Branch.
Oh, man, Manny, the former head coach at Mora.
Yes, sir.
I used to officiate high school basketball, and I had him in the state tournament one time. I'll never forget that stomping, that stomp. Another Northern New Mexico legend, along with James Branch, won state in 2022 and runner-ups in 2023. And now for 2 years, the former head coach at West Las Vegas, what was her name? I remember.
Miranda Martinez.
Yeah, Miranda had been there for a while.
Yes,
and had some success. Miranda was a busy bee on those sidelines, man. I remember she'd get after it. Tell us a little bit about how long your team and your coaching career. You're a young guy, man. You coached a lot of different sports. Talk to us a little bit about your coaching career up to now, and right now, again, you're doing pretty well with West Las Vegas, ranked number 1.
Yes, sir. So I all just got into coaching just because of my late father that passed away. But he had coached me, so that's what got me. When I graduated, I said that's what I want to do. And it kind of all started off with just coaching everything I could at the middle school level just to kind of get my feet wet. And then basketball is the sport that I love, and I coached that ever since I graduated till now. But this year will be last year was the first time that I coached girls basketball. I had only coached boys till recently.
And it's a change. That's a change. And definitely. I don't know that I always said that I coached at Highland and I coached some AAU, boys. I don't know. I always said to myself, I don't know if my style would translate to girls. I could adjust. I'm pretty sure I could. But talk to us a little bit about that. That's an adjustment. And girls. I think we've seen the girls' game. Man, look at the way they're improving now. You're seeing a lot more girls dunking, and which isn't the barometer if they're good or not, but more athletic plays. Some of the dribbling and passing and shooting, they're getting more work in, more reps, more on the court activity with trainers. They're getting nutrition. Their game is jumping up. Caitlin Clark at the WNBA level.
Right.
There's so many. I think the game, the girls, the women's game. Has gotten UCLA ranked number 1 right now in South Carolina. So there's an improvement, vast improvement with women's basketball for sure. But talk to us a little bit about the adjustment you had to make as a coach to coach, coaching boys, and you coached with Manny and Manny Romero and James Branch, man. Norteños, those dudes are machos. Is all get out, man.
Yeah,
I love Branch, man. Branch, he's been where Cuesta, Taos.
I love James, for sure. Yeah.
So those guys have a style. So talk to us a little bit about how you had to adjust your style.
So I have 2 girls myself, 2 young daughters. So I always just think about like how I would want my daughters to be coached. And then at the end of the day, I just feel like basketball is basketball, no matter who you're coaching, boys or girls. Kind of like when I first got the girls' job, I was gonna have a problem of like what I was kind of style of basketball. But once I got into the flow with this team, I just hit the ground running. I didn't have to really change much. Of course, I have to adjust to with the team that I have, but other my coaching style, I felt like stayed the same. I didn't have to adjust much from boys to girls.
So there's like we said, and you mentioned your father. You said your father coached.
Yes, sir.
What did he coach at?
He coached at West also. He coached track and basketball at West Las Vegas.
Boys basketball.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us a little bit about what you learned from him. My son, it's kind of funny. I coached at Highland. He coached at St. Pius for 3 years. Heck of a good little basketball mind, man. He
Yeah,
had to stop because he's an attorney. He's got a little, he's got a young daughter, and there's no, you can't do that. You just can't, right?
yeah,
It's
it's
tough. You
tough.
got two little girls, but you teach over there too. So yeah, you can do that. But my son, I think, really misses the teaching part. But
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about your father. Had to have been a huge influence on you. You had to have grown up in a gym. I'm sure you did. You
yeah.
were with
He
him.
coached me also, so
Okay, so
yeah,
um, yeah, well, no, it's funny because I coached my son, and I don't think anybody made me madder than he did. Yeah, because your kids can push that button on you.
yeah,
But
definitely.
no, we've had some great basketball experiences. But talk a little bit about what was your father's name?
Victor also. He was junior,
Talk,
and I'm the third.
oh, okay. So talk a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit about the influence he had on you as a coach, a dad, a mentor. I'm sure he had a huge influence.
Yeah. So it just came down to just making sure that you're just working hard each and every day, and just staying true to who you are. No matter, you're always going to hear noise out there. Always people are going to be talking. The rankings are going to come out, all this and that. But pretty much one thing that just stuck with me is just stay true to who you are. And even to this day, from he coached me in middle school, and there's some plays that I use from him that I use now, actually with my Lady Dons.
I bet there is. I'm sure there's situations in the huddles that you remember, many of them, and those memories don't go away. And
Yeah,
you know, a father that was how long did he coach at West? How long was he there?
he was probably coaching for a good 10 years.
Okay, yeah, that's did he play too? Was he a ball player? Did you
Yes,
play too as well? You played too, right?
yes, sir. Yeah, I ran a cross country, track, and then basketball.
Okay, so you're giving back to the school, and in the place that you're familiar with, where your dad was, and I'm sure that he had a huge influence on you as far as your coaching career. And I think coaching with Manny and Branch, you had to. What did you pick up from them? Because again, I laugh about it, but I think and I say this with respect. Manny's been that I know of at Mora, at he was at Robertson, and he's been at. Where's he at now? He's somewhere else now, right?
He was in Moda, I think, recently.
Well,
I don't
back
know if
from
you,
Mora.
yeah,
Yeah. And James Branch, we mentioned, the Norteño legend, has been all over the North.
yeah,
A
we're,
lot of respect for España, right? That's another school I didn't even mention. Taos,
yeah,
Cuesta. Uh,
yeah,
every time I talk to him, man, we laugh a lot, because he's got he's got it, man. That thing is, hey, you play hard, or that's the style, and I'm sure you do too. That's kind of northern New Mexico is very passionate about their basketball. But what did you get from both of them? Because those guys are excellent coaches, man. And you had your father, you had Manny Romero, and you had James Branch. Those are I can't think of three better mentors to learn from. What did you get
uh, I
from
also
both of them?
coached under Clyde Sanchez,
Oh yeah, I
uh,
remember him too. Yeah,
David Bustos. I coached under him also. So I've had a lot of coaching systems that I've been in and out of for sure.
I smile at Davey, man, because I refereed high school basketball for years, and
Yeah,
I didn't get Davey. I never had him in the game, but I love David. I like him a lot. But Davey's another guy, man. That Davey would, man, whoo, Davey would get after. He would
yeah,
get after him, man. So those are five, good coaches and good
yeah.
people. And your dad, what did you get from all? And what did you get? You got your own style. Victor Ulibarri has to be Victor Ulibarri. But
Yes, sir.
what did you learn from them? Because each one of them, David Bustos, man, Davey will get after it.
Yeah.
I know he's got Davey's Diner up there. I haven't had a chance to visit up there,
Yeah.
but him and I talked about it last year, and I hope he's doing well with it. I'm sure he is. But talk a little bit about the style. And Clyde's another legend. I was going to have him on the show a couple of
Right.
years ago. So those are 5 legends, and then your dad. What did you all? And you're still young. You're still 29, man. What did you get from all those guys?
Defense. That's the biggest thing. Defense, defense. You could score buckets, but there's some nights that shots are gonna fall. Some nights you're gonna have turnovers, a little bit more turnovers, all there. But defense always gonna have your back. Defense, defense, defense. That's the biggest thing from all the coaches, especially from James. That's one thing. We just practice defense every single day. That's what the thing, defense, defense, defense. So that's one thing that I kind of brought to when I got the head coaching job here at West Las Vegas, was that I'm going to focus on defense, and we're going to win games because of defense.
You're averaging, I think, 53.3 points per game, and started out the season very well. We're going to get into more of that. You won 3 in a row to start the season, beating Dexter, Socorro, and Crown Point, and actually 4 in a row, 5 in a row. And before you lost to West Mesa, who's 6A. A great start to the season. So the losses you have were to Silver, West Mesa, and they're very close. The ones you have were very close losses, and then a loss to ranked Navajo Prep right before the break. And you're still number 1. And that game against Navajo Prep was a close one, 64-57. And according to the schedule here, you won't see them. I'm sure you want to avenge that loss somewhere later down the way. You won't see them till the state tournament. But talk a little bit about the defensive intensity so far this season, because if you look at your scores, you've only given up 11, 2 points, 30 points, 47, 56, 33, 26, 61, 27, 19, 32 points, and then 64. So defensively, you're doing pretty well. Talk a little bit about the defensive intensity. And again, I agree with you. You got all these kids these days. I've been around the game for 53 years, man. That's a long time. So we've seen it change. But these kids it seems like they all want to shoot threes.
Yeah.
So, but talk about your defensive system that's gotten you to a 10-4 record.
Well, on the opposite side, I kind of let my girls be free. I want everyone to eat, and I want everyone to have the opportunity to score the ball. But I need everyone. If we have one weak link on defense, it just all breaks. So we got to all be on the same page. One thing that I preach to the girls each and every day is talking. That we need to be talking, because we don't know if screens are coming, cutters, high posts, everything. We got to just make sure that we're taking care of each other and letting everyone know what's happening on the court. And then I say the same thing to the girls on the bench, that they're watching the game, so they got to make sure that they're helping their girls out also by talking and letting them know if they see anything also happening. So talking has been like the vocal point of our defense.
That's so important. Switch, what are we doing? Hedging out on screens. The relationship, shoot your guns, the relationship between man and ball. That's old school.
Right.
I still remember, man. But all those things are hugely important. And you mentioned the mentors that you had. Defense wins you games. It's going to win you games, and we need to get a stop, right? They got to get that stop, man.
Yes, sir.
And especially late in the game. Out of a timeout, we don't know what they're going to run. We got to, there's a lot of things that you have to, along with your assistant coaches who are, tell you, hey, coach, so-and-so's got 2 fouls. They communicate with you too. And you got the bench communicating. All of that has led to a 10-3 record. I'm sorry, I said 10-4, and the number 1 ranking in 3A. Coach,
and honestly, Coach, real fast, I honestly wouldn't be in this situation also with my coaches. My coaches have been a huge help on both the offense and defensive side also. So they've been really helpful. Yeah,
your assistant. Sure. We'll name them when we come back, but I'm sure they've been a huge help to you, because you couldn't, like you said, be where you are without them telling you during the game, Coach, watch this. I've been before, so. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this year's version of the number 1 ranked West Las Vegas Dons after these messages on the sports desk. Hey, good. Broadcast Channel 46, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez. A very special guest today, West Las Vegas girls head basketball coach Victor Ulibarri. His Dons are ranked number 1 in 3A, and they'll face off against Moriarty tonight. And that's a game in West Las Vegas tonight at 7 p.m. And, Coach, we wish you all the best of luck on that game. The holidays are over and everybody's back to school. And sometimes, man, I'll tell you, man, my little granddaughter's so funny. She wanted it to snow, and, if it snows, do I have to go to school? And, God, she's so darn adorable. I just love that little girl so much, But, yeah, everybody's getting back into their routines. And, we mentioned you guys are averaging 53 points a game. And if you mentioned defensively, that was your focus. You've also got you've got your stats here. Alexis Pacheco is at 19.9 points per game. You mentioned her, also 8.9 rebounds per game, and I was really impressed with that. 2.1 steals, I think, and 4.4 assists. Jayla Cordova, 10.6 points per game and 4.8 rebounds per game, 1.9 steals per game. Tyra Horner, I was impressed with this. She averages 4.8 points per game, but she pulls down 6.3 rebounds. I was impressed with that. That tells me something right there. You've knocked down. You've got some 3-point shooters. Yesenia Escobar, who averages 5.2 points per game, has hit 6 threes. Alexis Pacheco with 12. Jayla Cordova with 12. And then Sylvia Lucero has hit 5 3-pointers. Tell us a little bit about your roster. Doesn't seem like you'll shoot the 3, but I don't know that you're shooting a high volume of them. So tell us a little bit about, you mentioned your defense. Tell us a little bit about the offensive system that you run.
So I have 7 seniors, so we're top heavy for sure this year. But we ain't getting that many 3 attempts up just because we're fast breaking. I would consider us a running team. So even for practice, we're conditioning hard before even practice starts. We're going on routes, we're running hills. And then if it's too cold outside, we're in the gym conditioning for a good hour and a half before we get into anything else. So our offensive system is to go score fast.
Okay, so that makes sense. You got into fast break. You've got a rebound, and you've got some rebounders there. Tell us a little bit about Alexis. You mentioned her stats could be even better, but you have to pull her out sometimes. Yeah. She's a senior. You've got, as you mentioned, you've got a lot of seniors on your roster. Tell us a little bit about her, because those are solid numbers. Is she getting any looks from any division, any colleges at all? Tell us a little bit about her.
So she's focused on softball. That's her main sport. So she has a lot of offers there for sure. She probably could have a lot of offers in basketball. But honestly, we probably wouldn't be where we're at without her. She's probably like the heart and soul of our team. She plays on both ends. She's 100 miles an hour all the time. I have to kind of take her out of the game, like I said, to pull her back, to give her a breather. And 10 seconds into her breather, she's saying, "Coach, put me back in." She's our Energizer bunny. She just wants to go, 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 go. And she's our leader, definitely our leader of our team.
You mentioned play softball as well, and Matete, the other girl, they won state last year, didn't they win state?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they're both coming back.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I had your softball coach on last year too, and that's then she puts those kind of numbers up in basketball. She's one heck of an athlete. There's great pictures that you sent of your West Las Vegas girls in action here, and I always say pictures really enhance what you're doing there. Look at that picture there. Amy Gonzalez, an assistant. Tony Udley, Deanna Ulibarri, statistician. I don't know if that's your wife.
Yeah, that's my wife. Yep.
Family affair there. Talk to us a little bit about. We mentioned that we wanted to bring that up. Talk to us a little bit about your assistant coaches and what they do for you, because it's a lot, right? Got to break down film. They can say, "Hey, Coach, Sylvia needs a rest." You can just tell. You may not be able to see that, They
Yeah.
tell you, hey, Tyra's got two, coach. Got to get her out. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about what your assistant coaches do for you.
So from last year to this year, I kind of found something. From last year, I was kind of just like taking all the responsibility on my shoulders, and I kind of took a step back this year, and I was had my coaches. I gave them both responsibilities to kind of like help me out. Like one has offense, one has defense for both sides to kind of like let me know what's happening throughout the game. And like you said, if anyone's tired or if anyone's not doing their job, they definitely let me know. And a lot of things that people don't see is they're doing a lot of things that are not seen by others. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that they're doing that a lot of people are not seeing. And I'm so thankful for all of that. And they have a great relationship with all of our girls, with all three teams that we have. So, like I said, I'm really grateful with the coaching staff that I have. And then my wife, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her helping me out also. So I'm thankful for my wife also.
That's a great family affair there because winning and losing as a coach, you take that home, and you got your wife there as a buffer. And I say this to every coach that's on this show. It doesn't matter what sport. I don't know that we enjoy wins as much because we're always saying we should have done this and done that.
Yeah.
But with losses, rip us up, man. They rip us up. They do. And you said, so you got your wife. And your wife's like, no, we don't have time for that. My right? My wife would tell my son, you got 5 minutes for a pity party. After that, it's over. And my son and I were both the same way. I would be still mad 3 days later, like, how did we lose that?
No,
And
same here. Yeah.
yeah, my nephew played for El Dorado. He was a heck of a player. My nephew would be like, okay, he played as hard as he could, but once it was over, he didn't dwell on it. And I was thinking, I wish I could be more like him because I was still mad, But Coach, we got a couple minutes left, and you've got Moriarty, then Hot Springs, Santa Fe Indian, Las Vegas Robertson. Man, wish I could be there for that. St. Mike's Academy for Technology, Santa Fe Indian, Robertson again, St. Mike's Academy for Technology to finish the season. And it's going to go quick, Coach. We know that.
Yeah.
Things go quick. What are the Dons, the senior heavy team? You got a good team here. You do. What are they going to have to do to? You got a tough district. What are they going to have to do to take that blue trophy home? It's a little ways down the line, but what are you going to have to do to keep the momentum going?
Like I said, we got to continue just buying into the culture, just keep on pushing ourselves, continue to condition ourselves each and every day, because no matter how much we run, there's always still more conditioning to come. And honestly, to be every team that we mostly play, at the end of the game, they're like, Coach, you guys run us. You guys ran us good. You guys are fast. You guys just keep coming. So that's probably another thing. We just got to just make sure that we continue running and just buying in the defensive culture. Like I said, defense is always going to have our back. So I hope that throughout the rest of the season that the defense will have our back.
You know what? The conditioning. Wally Salata, a very good friend of mine, is a head coach at Rio Rancho. Has been at Los Lunas, Rio Grande. Wally's been all over, man. But St. Pius, he says, hey, Ed, you play for me, man. You got to be in shape. So, your girls, I can tell, are in, and that makes a difference. Fourth quarter, who's grabbing the shorts and who's tired? We need to push through. And that conditioning will definitely make or break you. Definitely could, especially here if you come to the Pit or even Santa Ana, right? Different atmosphere. West Las Vegas girls head coach Victor Ulibarri. His Dons are ranked number 1. They'll face off against Moriarty tonight in West Las Vegas at 7 p.m. We thank you so much for being our guest.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. For producer Alden Iwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.